Humans are inherently curious beings, eager to grasp the size and expanse of the universe. However, it is not just the universe that appears vast to us. Despite the continuous growth of the human population and the resulting environmental impacts, which contribute to the world seemingly shrinking, there are still communities living in tribal ways. In this world, there are pristine forests, untouched by human presence, as well as places where indigenous people lead lives reminiscent of early humans. Today, we will discuss 6 peerless and forbidden locations that no one dares to venture into. The Forbidden Forest in Japan. In the mountains of Fuji, Japan, there exists a forest known as Aokigahara. Its eerie ambience is not solely due to its mystical nature, but rather the peculiar incidents that occur within, making it earn a place on the list of eerie locations. Both domestic and international tourists visit this place for photography and nature exploration. Those who enter the forest are advised to stick to designated paths, as the dense vegetation can easily lead them astray, and the unusual plant cover makes it difficult for their cries of help to be heard. However, some individuals intentionally deviate from these paths and delve deeper into the forest. In Japanese folklore, Aokigahara is known as the Sea of Trees, filled with wandering spirits of the dead. Hidden Cemetery in Paris. In the late 18th century, Parisian cemeteries became overcrowded, leading authorities to decide to relocate some of the bodies to tunnels beneath the city. It took 15 months to transfer all the corpses and skeletons to these underground tunnels, eventually creating this eerie location. The map you see represents the underground cemetery of Paris, resembling a spiral staircase. If you get lost here, finding the way out will be nearly impossible. This catacomb cemetery twists and turns, housing close to 6 million skeletons. Although guided tours are available for visitors to explore this cemetery, many sections are off limits to the public. Some adventurers clandestinely enter this cemetery, and every few years a body is discovered within these underground catacombs. Now, let's move on to a video. This video captures events experienced by an unidentified person who ventured into this cemetery. Recorded in the 90s, this video shows a man exploring the cemetery alone, navigating through the tunnels, struggling to breathe, and seemingly getting lost in the spiral passages of the underground cemetery. After futile attempts, he becomes despondent, throws the camera to the side, and hurriedly searches for an exit. Years later, someone finds the camera discarded on the ground, revealing the footage inside. What are your thoughts on this recorded video? The mysterious island of Sentinel. One of the most well-known tribes inhabiting the island of Sentinel is the Sentinel tribe, located in the northern part of the Indian Ocean. This tribe fiercely guards its boundaries and does not permit anyone to enter their territory or get acquainted with their people. The members of this tribe have been living on Sentinel Island for approximately 600,000 years. The existence of this tribe was first discovered in 1896, and since then numerous attempts have been made to establish contact with them. Although the indigenous people vehemently rejected any efforts to connect with outsiders, the tribe responded harshly and violently to airplanes and helicopters attempting to land in their area using stones and arrows. In 2006, some illegal fishermen approached the island's shore excessively, and the indigenous people killed these intruders. Consequently, the Indian government completely severed ties with the people of this island and declared visiting it forbidden. There is no precise information about the population of this tribe, but it's estimated their numbers range between 400 to 500. In the early 1990s, when a ship ran around the island's coast, the tribe members attacked the ship to loot iron tools and objects. However, the occupants of the ship used firearms to kill all indigenous people, leading to resentment among the natives toward anyone intending to enter the island. The Death Road in Spain. The road we're discussing is a dangerous route located in El Coro near the city of Malaga in Spain. This road is famously known as the King's Path and runs along completely steep, relatively narrow and high cliffs. The route, also known as El Caminito del Rey, was used for decades without any maintenance, leading to dozens of fatalities. The handmade iron railings that were previously installed along the path deteriorated over time, collapsing and causing certain sections of the route to disappear. In the years 1999 and 2000, 5 individuals lost their lives due to falls from this path, prompting the government to close the route. The path, having become unstable as the lack of maintenance, underwent restoration and reconstruction a few years ago, so it all started again. But the reopening of the route does not necessarily mean that it is entirely safe. The dangers associated with this path, including its narrow and precarious structure, continue to pose risk to those who choose to traverse it. Despite the restoration efforts, individuals attempting to navigate this perilous road should exercise extreme caution and be aware of the potential hazards that persist along the King's Path. Room 39, North Korea. North Korea is known to be the most closed-off country in the world. No one can enter this country without permission. Those who manage to enter after going through the necessary procedures can only travel accompanied by military guards. In this country, unlike many others, the use of the internet as a means of communication is prohibited, and the people are not allowed to access the internet. The only media that people in this country are permitted to use is television, and even that is entirely under government control. In North Korea, there is a place called Room 39, and entering this place is almost impossible. The country is governed by a unique and peculiar ideology. The punishment for a person entering this room is execution and death. Additionally, all members of the person's family are also executed. What is in this room? According to claims, activities such as illegal money transfers from Switzerland, fraud, drug trafficking, and the country's nuclear activities are conducted in this room. Although North Korea denies all these claims, entering this room is dangerous and prohibited. The Chernobyl disaster. The most dangerous thing in the world is this stone sarcophagus located in the uninhabited city of Chernobyl. As you know, Chernobyl is the most dangerous city in the world because of a nuclear experiment that was in progress on April 26, 1986, which went half finished and resulted in a massive explosion. Immediately after this explosion, a large amount of radioactive material spread throughout the world. Within a few years, 500 workers who were exposed to radioactive materials after the explosion lost their lives due to radiation poisoning. The cost of the explosion was estimated to be over $18 billion, and at the time of the explosion, 31 workers at the nuclear power plant lost their lives. The highly dispersed radioactive matter caused the death of many people. Due to the explosion of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, over 1 million people lost their lives. The remaining nuclear fuel in the reactor and the fourth power plant melted everything in and around it, and the final result is the melted objects containing radioactive substances. These melted materials still contain radioactive elements, and if you look at these melted materials containing radioactivity for a few hours, you will suffer from radiation poisoning. These melted materials are called elephant's foot, and despite weighing 191 tons, it has spread to a few meters and is very hot. Mr. Sergei Krasov checks and monitors this mass 12 times a month because the elephant's foot in the reactor should not come into contact with water, as it would cause the water to evaporate and pose a most serious environmental threat after spreading. After his retirement, someone else will be responsible for this duty. When Krasov was asked how long this situation would continue, he replied, "I think it will take a century for this situation to end. Ordinary people should not get close to the reactor number 4 of this power plant within a radius of 48 kilometers. Thank you very much for being with us until the end of this video. If you enjoy this type of content, be sure to like the video, share it with your friends. Which of these places would you like to see up close?